Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a bunch of news updates about the cruise business. I've got news out of Hawaii. I have news regarding airlines and the CDC. I've got news regarding Carnival and making changes. And I also have some news coming out of Europe today as well. Lots happening while cruise lines are still not able to cruise for a living. Thank you all of you out there who are subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate this. Also, the thumbs ups you give me for these videos, very much appreciate it. Love your comments. Keep them coming. Join me on my Facebook group page, Traveling with Bruce. A lot of us hang out over there between these videos, and you'll be among a bunch of cruise addicts if you join that Facebook group page. Thanks for following me on Instagram. Also, RedBubble, the link down below here, the RedBubble store that I have for TWB merchandise. Thank you for all your support. A royalty comes my way every time something is ordered with a TWB logo on it. Hawaii is where we're going to start. Right here, I want to talk to you about the Pride of America. This is the Norwegian ship that is staffed by American crew. It runs a series of one-week cruises through the Hawaiian Islands, has now for a number of years, and there's been talk lately about what would it take for Norwegian to just shift this ship out of Hawaii and move it over to Alaska and run Alaska cruises in the summertime, Hawaii cruises in the fall and the winter and the spring. And that way, this year, there could be cruises in Alaska. Problem is that the crew are based in Hawaii. A lot of these are folks who have places in Hawaii. They kind of live there as well as work there with the ship. The ship and cruise line have made deals for a long-term agreement to keep the ship in Hawaii and to utilize Hawaiian ports. Norwegian is under a long-term commitment to the state of Hawaii to not leave. It would have been nice this year to have some sailings in Alaska, but the reality is, folks, totally impractical. The state of Alaska requires everyone who arrives to produce a negative test result for the virus in order to stay there. Otherwise, you have to have a 14-day quarantine. And with a ship load of 2,000-3,000 people at a time, it's just unworkable for this year. So Alaska is out, and the Pride of America will stay in Hawaii. Carnival. Let me talk to you about Carnival today. They released their financials this morning before the market opened up. They lost $4.4 billion in just 3 months up until the end of May. And I can tell you that for the next 3-month report, they will lose even more. They are not able to take a paying passenger anywhere in the world on any of their ships with all the 9 brands that they have. Part of the announcement they made today, though, was they are going to retire 6 ships from their fleet. Now, they didn't say whether they would be just Carnival Cruise Line ships, or would these perhaps involve a Princess ship or a Holland America ship or other lines. We don't know. What we do know is that they are not going to need the capacity going forward because one, when they do start sailing again, and we don't know when that again is, that could be, this year, could be into 2021 or beyond. But when they do start sailing again, they're only going to be sailing with perhaps 10 to 20% of their fleet as a starter, and they'll slowly ramp up from there. It's likely they're going to be restricted to a capacity level. Rumors are 50%, but it could be lower, it could be higher. And these older ships are just not economical unless they're full up right to the brim. And so we might have seen the last of these style fantasy class ships for Carnival. Now, 2 days ago, Carnival announced that they had sold the Costa Victoria. This was a very quiet news announcement. They, of course, are not bragging about these kinds of announcements, but this could have been the first of the 6. I don't know for sure. But I do know that the ship has been acquired by an Italian shipbuilder, and the ship will never sail as an ocean liner again. The plan is for this ship to work as a floating hotel for crew when ships come in for dry dock work. That much I've been told. I've also heard that the rumored price that Carnival received to sell this cruise ship, which cost $390 million in 1996, they received $15 million. That's all they got for it. And I doubt they'll get even that much for their other older ships as well. Good news for Carnival, though, is saying goodbye to the ship means saying goodbye to about $2 million to $3 million a month to keep it up and keep it crewed. And so over a year, you're holding that ship for $30 million. Get rid of it and get $15 million cash at the same time and move on. Airlines. Okay, Southwest Airlines, United, all the players. They are allowed to fly in the USA. They're allowed to add more planes anytime they want in the USA. They're allowed to put on as many passengers as they can sell seats for without any restrictions by the FAA or the CDC. Today, the FAA announced that they will not mandate that any airline, make the passengers wear masks. They're passing the buck over to the CDC. The FAA has passed the buck when it comes to seat capacity in the middle of a COVID breakout. These are political decisions as far as I'm concerned. I think they have nothing to do with passenger safety. You take a 5.5-hour flight from New York to LA or vice versa, and you're cramped into an A319 ship, a cruise vessel like this, a plane like this, 3 across seating for 5.5 hours plus at least half an hour additional to get on and get off the plane. 6 hours in these type cramped conditions. How can this not be a health hazard at full capacity? It just blows my mind how one industry is allowed to do whatever the heck it wants any way it sees fit, while on the other side, over here at Fort Lauderdale, you have cruise ships sitting over here and just offshore, and the cruise lines are coming to the CDC with all kinds of proposals to get the ships back in the water to start cruising again, and the CDC will not even allow ships into this port to drop off crew members and get them to the airport, which, by the way, is wide open. Anyone can fly, but crew members can only get on airplanes that are fully chartered and fly nonstop to where they're going. It is just ludicrous, the rules for one segment versus another, but it shows you, at least as far as I can tell you, the lobbyists in Washington for the airline business are so powerful and so numerous that I don't think a senator or a congressman can go to the bathroom without bumping into one of these people, where the cruise lines are just outnumbered and they're outgunned and they just don't have the political clout to get anything through. That's just my take on it, but that's what I'm hearing here about the airline business, and they're still only at 20% capacity, and you got to wonder how many super spreaders are spreading the virus on these airplanes. This here is an image from Barcelona in Spain. It is the cruise port area where the cruise ships come in. I don't know if you know this, but the port in Barcelona is the busiest passenger cruise port in all of the Mediterranean and practically all of Europe. More cruise ships sail in and out of here when it's normal. Spain announced just yesterday that they have now decided not to give a date for when cruise ships can come back into any Spanish ports. They are now calling the reopening date for Spain indefinite suspension. And so we have no idea whether at all in 2020 any cruise ships will be allowed into any Spanish ports. This could be until a vaccine is approved or longer. We just don't know. And speaking of Europe, of course, other European ports are putting their own dates out. There is no rhyme or reason. Apparently there are 400 ports in Europe that you can visit as a cruise ship passenger. Can you imagine that? 400. And there is no cohesion between them except for country cohesion. That's it. So Malta, Cyprus, Turkey, Greece, Italy, Croatia, France, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark. Good luck. UK, good luck. The cruise lines are totally at wit's end. They have no idea when they'll be cruising again in Europe because Europe doesn't know when they'll be cruising again. It is an absolute mess. Of course, back to North America, same thing, of course, in the Caribbean. All kinds of Caribbean nations have all kinds of different dates as well, different COVID restrictions, and so it's all up in the air, and we just don't know when cruising will start again. There you go. Those are your stories for the day. Spain is shut down indefinitely. Norwegian will not move the Pride of America out of Hawaii. Planes versus cruise ships. Planes are winning, cruise ships are losing. And Carnival is going to dump 6 ships in 90 days. We'll find out very shortly which ones those are. Thank you for tolerating this video today. I hope you like it. Thank you for your support of this channel. Stay warm, stay cool, stay safe, stay healthy. And we'll talk to you next time, everyone. Bye for now.